Good evening, this cold Nairobi evening. Welcome once again to Let's Talk Love, a new channel that I've established to help us navigate on the issue of love. Love in the context of family, love in the context of nation, which love I find to be compromised and highly missing. Like I said in my introductory video, what has led me to this is my observation that an election can put families in conflict. Indeed, in 2007, we saw terrible things. We thought we would never visit such a time again. But in this concluded election, I have witnessed things I thought we had completely left behind us in 2008. To repeat some of those, I've seen divorce in family in this election, where a wife is Kalenjin, the husband is Luo, Kisi. I have seen a father, like I said, who has cast his children for not listening to him in terms of voting. I have seen hatred brewing between man and wife because of politics. The one thing that is standing out is the absence of love. Because I've said with love, what looks like a mountain may actually be an anthill. What is leading to separation and divorce could be something you could actually sort out. I welcome you to join this new channel. I welcome you to subscribe to this new channel. And those who have subscribed, thank you very much. We are growing already as a family. Please invite others, share the videos until we have a complete family. In the coming episodes or videos, I'm going to go deep into the sort of issues that have made me think we need a channel of this for conversations. For example, I've said we'll be addressing things like interracial marriages, intertribal marriages, issues where the wife is 40 years and the husband is 25 years, issues where there's no child in the family, issues of foster parenting, stepchildren. There are many, many challenges, including issues of one spouse being educated more than the other. Since we started evening programs, popularly known as Module 2 or parallel or self-sponsored programs at the University of Nairobi, I have witnessed women coming to study, and before the 3 or 4 years are over, they have divorced. I've played my role in trying to counsel and advise others, and I feel I have sufficient or reasonable experience in life to be able to share. I've tried, for example, to tell my students, when you come to university and you are a mother, the pressure of being a mother, an employee, a wife, is not as simple as you might imagine when you start. And these are the sort of things that can influence you in some of the decisions you make. When you join young people and you are 40-something-year-old woman, you begin to talk like them. You may not even know. You begin to say, us guys. You begin to dress like those young girls. Nothing wrong with that. But think of your spouse. Coming home late begins to be less a worry and a bother than ever before. When you come to university, I've advised my students, sometimes in open forums in class, you must know, for example, that the university gives you two things. Forget about your degree. Two things. One, the ability to withstand pressure. That's why some people, when people are recruiting, they say a university graduate. It doesn't mean so that as a graduate, you'll bring your degree. Yes, your degree is good, but the training gives you that ability to withstand pressure, which a management position might require. Something else, university creates order around you, and you begin to operate and to like order and to appreciate order. Now, when you go back home, you begin to notice the disorder in your home, even from your house girl. And if you are not careful as a woman who is now at the university, you can have 10, 15 house girls before you finish your degree. So by sharing such information with my students, I've come to learn that it has been helpful to some of them. So I'm saying cumulatively I have the experience and the understanding of the world to be able to share and create conversations that may help us as a country and as people. But before I go into these details, allow me perhaps last or second last video, as I asked you also to subscribe and share, allow me once again, like the last video, which was my first video, talk about these elections. Elections are highly emotive. In a society such as ours, where elections are crafted along ethnicities, where people support a candidate not merely because that candidate is good or even not good, but because they come from our tribe, the support is most likely going to be extremely emotional and emotive. And therefore, I've given examples, for example, where Honorable Oscar Sudi, the MP for Kapsaret in Eldoret, on a public platform, asking the county commissioner to leave House Gishu.
Na vile vile wewe county commissioner pia unajua ulitenganisha watu wetu hapa na fitina mingi, sisi tumekusamea, but you must resign this government. Hatuwezi kukubali hiyo maneno. Tuambiane ukweli ndio inji ipone. Mulikuwa mnataka vita katika taifa la Kenya.
Ostensibly because of the things he did or didn't do during the elections. Incidentally, the same county commissioner is in a normal transfer, not in response to Sudi, I would think, taken to Embu. And I said earlier, the newly elected governor, we are happy we have 7 women governors. They're going to be an inspiration to our young daughters, young girls. Governor Cecil Mbarile is again in a public forum saying we will not receive such a reject. A person who created chaos in Eldoret cannot be brought to Embu. I gave an example of some young man whose wife said he had prayed for Ruto. She congratulated Ruto, and the young man is a government officer, very close to Raila. And he was vilified. I said, no, we need love, we need empathy. I gave an example of a young pastor who went to church to be told, no, you have been transferred from this church and taken to another church. And the reason was simple. He was in a Kenya Kwanza zone, and yet he was singing the music of Azimio. And I'm saying, we have a country beyond campaigning for the people we support. Beyond going all out to ensure William Ruto becomes president or Raila becomes president, we have a country that your wife will support Ruto and you support Raila may not be a very comfortable situation, but you have to let love shine in the family. And with love, you can begin to appreciate that your wife or your husband too could have their choice that is different from yours. Today, as I do this video, there is a video circulating in social media. You can look at it.
Amgani! Ameshindwa tena! Amkeni! Ameshindwa tena! Amkeni! Ameshindwa tena! Ameshindwa tena!
If you look at this video and the letter that has come from Transline, the company for which he works, saying they have taken disciplinary action against him because he's seen celebrating the victory of William Samoei Ruto and using not so nice words about Azimio, about Raila Odinga. This company plies Nairobi, Kisii, and all the Nyanza zones, which are highly Raila zones. The company, sensing that, has said they are disciplining him, most likely to mean they are sacking him. What am I trying to say now? I'm saying we are going to have all these kind of things with us for a while, for like 6 months or so. I want to ask you, as I've done before, if you are in charge of pastors, you can discipline them, you can sack them, you can transfer them, you can remove them from a good church, because some of these churches, a pastor tries to build the church, to develop it, and it gets to a certain position. If you have the power, do not remove somebody merely because of politics. Look at the bigger good. Here is a pastor doing ministry work, serving the people, propagating the gospel of your Lord. He's in charge of Madras, somewhere in Mombasa. And you are a chairman of the committee. You have the power to remove him. But the young man is doing a good job in preparing young Muslims to grow up to be good Muslims. The fact that he did not support your candidate and that you have the power to remove him, please, this is what I'm talking about. I've given examples of people who are going to sit for interviews, including a friend of mine who was most qualified. He sat for an interview last week. He lost the interview because everybody on the panel was the other side. We are now living in a country where if your name starts with O and you go for an interview, promotion panel, looking for a job, seeking services in a government office, just because you are O, Odongo, Onyango, and maybe the people who are UDA, they are Kiplagats, you're going to have a problem. I'm trying to ask us Kenyans, let's not go in that direction. For many reasons. First, we must have love among ourselves. Because God, in his wisdom, put us in this country together. So you find yourself with that young man in that office together. Don't use those considerations to harass others. Do not harass somebody. Because Uhuru and Raila were not on the same side, but today they are. Ruto was with Raila in 2007. Today they are not. Don't victimize another Kenyan because they were not on your side. Tomorrow you'll be on the same side. Let the motive of love ring in the nation. Let us know that if we love each other, if we care for each other, all these political positions are transient. And the power itself, I may add, can be very illusionary and delusional at the same time. There have been big empires, they have collapsed, the Roman Empire. Who knew the Roman Empire was going to collapse? In 2017, in the Supreme Court, I saw James Orengo and his team very happy, embracing each other, fist in the air. The other day, they were crestfallen. I asked Kenyans, not to revenge, not to avenge. I ask Kenyans not to hurt those who are already hurting. We must show empathy to those who have lost this election, to the candidates who stood and lost, to the Kenyans who supported Raila Odinga, but victory has been handed to Ruto. Let's be magnanimous if we are the ones who have won. Let love prevail. Who knows about tomorrow? To those in social media, victory has been achieved. Ruto is not a candidate anymore. From candidate Ruto to President Ruto, the discourse must change. Henceforth, those who are pouring vitriol on social media, adding salt to injury, there are people who are injured, there are people who are hurting. You don't need to be anything to understand that some of the words you are saying on social media, some of the things you are saying on social media, can send somebody to the grave. There are people whose pressure has gone up. There are people who have been hostilized. Because at the end of the day, human beings are not as hard as we may think. They are not as complicated as we think. They are not as hardy as we may think. Because a human being is a psychological bundle. To injure and destroy a human being is not a very difficult thing. But if there's love, if there's empathy, if we begin by knowing that we are all Kenyans, irrespective of how we voted, we will go back to work from next week after the swearing in of William Samoei Ruto, and you land in your office as the boss, and you look at those young people in your office, and the love in you will make you treat those young people under you like you are children. Don't go for any of them because they were arguing on social media and in the offices. That is behind us. We now have a president, not a candidate. Once again, to thank you for those who have already started subscribing, and for those who have not, please do share this video. The next video we are going to produce and others will delve into the issues that divide families. We are also going to have live stories, human interest stories about real people in real time. We therefore invite you, if you have a compelling story, to get to us, and we'll give you an opportunity to sit here and tell the side of your story and say, this is what I went through in my family. Many times I thought I had lost it, but I allowed perhaps love to direct me, and I'm still happily married. You will help another family. Thank you very much, and please subscribe to this new channel.
Let's get together and feel alright. Hear the children crying. Hear the children crying. Saying thanks and praise to the Lord.